Hello, I'm Naman Sinha, and this is my project Recon, a real-time web vulnerability scanner I built for Devlynix Buildathon 2.0. Here's the problem I will be solving using this project. Now, if you're a developer and you want to know if your website is secure, what do? You either pay for an enterprise tool like Burp Suite or Qualys that costs hundreds of dollars or run some CLI commands. Neither of those feel right. Security should be as easy as pasting a URL. So I built Recon. Here you paste a URL, you hit scan, and in seconds, you get a professionally scored, color-coded security report. No setup, no installation. Let me show you how. First, we are going to be accessing our dashboard where we find a particular text box where we can paste our URL to check its level of vulnerability. For this particular demo, I will be using this site. Why? Because this particular site was deliberately built by OWASP to check with many vulnerabilities for testing such applications. Now, when I hit enter and it starts scanning, on the right side you can see there is a live scan feed which is calculating and generating all these CSP, HSTS, XFrame, reflected accesses, SQL injection, sensitive file exposure, all these six vulnerabilities. They are simultaneously checking it using async IO in Python, based on which on the left side you can see risk assessment is given. This score is not random but based on the level of criticality that has been found. Each of these are defined by particular weights. Now in our main.py we have entered our weights. For critical it is 40 and if vulnerability is high it is 20. For medium it is 10 and for low it is 5. Now let's go to our application. And as you can see, the scan is completed, a score is generated. And one more thing in my project is that here you can see not only we have generated all the vulnerabilities that were there in the site, we have also given a fix, a direction on how one can fix this. After someone implements this fix, they can come here and verify the fix. If the implementation is successful, it will show pass, and if it is not, it will show fail. After this, we have also given a shareable URL, which a user can send this to their colleagues or teammates to check the status of their website. Here you can see a dashboard has been presented where there is no text box, but a report-based dashboard where risk assessment, lifespan feed, and all the findings that we got are presented with the recent scans that have been done. We can also generate JSON file or a PDF file for our reference. Now let me show you how this is actually built because the architecture is what matters. This is fast API backend and the core endpoint is main.py file is stream scan. Why? Because as you notice, it returns a streaming response with media type text slash event stream. This is a server sent event. Instead of waiting for all seven scanners to finish and returning one big JSON, each scanner pushes its result to front end the moment it completes. That's why the dashboard feels live. Now let me show you one of the scanner architecture and how it is built. For instance, we are going to take XSS scanner, where it uses beautiful soup to find all forms on the page, injects a real HTML payload into every text input and checks if that payload reflects back an escape in response. If it does, confirmed access is found, and if it does not, that is, if HTML encodes it, that's a pass. And because of the strategy pattern, adding a new vulnerability check is literally one new file and one line in scanner map. This engine never changes. The other key decision was standardizing the output. Every scanner of regardless what it checks returns this particular pydantic scan result model. That is vulnerability name, severity, past, status, description, OWASP to identify reference. The frontend is built against this contract. One more thing in main.py is the calculator risk score which I showed previously. Here you can see the risk generated was not hard coded but defined calculations based on the weights that are given here. Here for backend we have only used Python and Fast API framework, and in frontend we have used Next.js with Tailwind CSS React, and I have also implemented an LLM here. Why? Because all these scans that are generated, they might show false positive. To verify them, I have also implemented LLM for second tier verification. So, to summarize what Recon does, it scans any public URL or GitHub repository for 7 vulnerability cases, all mapped to the OWASP top 1025 standard. It scores the result on a weighted 0 to 100 scale. It gives you a specific copy paste fixes for real for every finding. It streams result in real time using server send events, and it exports a 4-page written professional security report. It is fully deployed, backend on render and frontend is on Versa. And you can scan any site right now. Thanks for watching. I hope Recon finds something interesting on whatever you scan next.